Good morning, Broncos fans, and a special good morning to the Broncos fans out there who are still diehard Broncos fans because it's getting rough out there. It's rough being a Broncos fan right now, and I feel you. I was going to talk a little history, maybe a little Green Bay Packers, Denver Broncos history this morning, but I really wanted to get into what is the deal with the Denver Broncos right now? Why are they dragging their feet? What are they waiting for when it comes to kind of starting this rebuild process that we all know needs to happen? I mean, they need to make some moves this to create an offseason that is more productive, I guess. I mean, what's the deal? What's going on? And let's get into that today. Let's really talk about it. Let's really dive into what moves can be made and what the Broncos are really kind of waiting for. So let's get in that today. But first, I'm going to say hello to some folks in the chat. David Youngkin, thank you so much for being here this morning. Appreciate it. In here bright and early. Man, I had a long night last night. I could not sleep very well. So I'm really tired and getting up early to do the show. And hopefully, my eyes aren't too droopy this morning. But David, thank you for being here. And David says, what are they waiting for? How about an actual leader? Because it doesn't seem like there is one anywhere in the building. Yeah, it's true. Like, where is the leadership? It's been kind of radio silence. And I know that's how they kind of want to operate, but um, who's going to step in and make the moves? Like, it doesn't seem like Sean Payton is doing it. I mean, there's tons of rumors out there right now about the moves that they can make. Jerry Jeudy, there's BS rumors about Patrick Surtain wanting need to be traded. All this stuff is going on, yet there's nothing seems to be happening at all at Dove Valley. So you're right, David. But thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Dominic Martin coming in saying, "Hey Tom, mile high salute to my Broncos family." Well, at least whomever is still a fan. I hope the Broncos can win finally. Go Broncos for life, and of course, Mile High Huddle for life. Yeah, thank you, Dominic, for being here this morning. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's true. Like, um, anyone that's still left as a Broncos fan after these miserable few years, right? They're still the diehard. So, salute to you, Dominic, and a salute to all those diehard Broncos fans out there. And even though we're critical of what's going on, that doesn't mean we don't still care about the team. That's why we're critical, right? That's why we want to speak out and say what's going on, because we want the best for the team. We want to be able to watch a winner, and we know that the changes have to be made, right? So it's like, let's get started on those changes now and give the Broncos fans some hope, because right now there isn't any. Even if they win on Sunday against the Green Bay Packers, there's that's still 2-5. I mean, the chances of them making a run to the playoffs are pretty minimal. Even though it's possible, it's still very, very, very difficult to do, and I don't see it happening. But thanks, Dominic, for being here. And then we've got Brooklyn Official Music. Thank you for being here this morning. Appreciate it. Saying good morning, Tom. Hope we can get our second win this week. Yeah, it would be nice. It would be really nice to see a win. And I know people want to tank and get the number one pick and all of that, but I'm always hoping for a win. Yes, I know the rebuild needs to happen, and yes, they need to trade some players, but I still want them to win every week. So let's hope that they get one. And Riptide's in this morning as well, saying good morning. Good morning to you. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate the support and being here with me this morning early. So that's great. Jamal Killings saying good morning to Broncos country. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. It's nice to see some folks in the chat early this morning. And Jeremy Sean's coming in as well, saying morning, Thomas. I really don't like the word tanking. It's more like strategic planning. Yeah, let's call it something different, right? It's it's not. For me, it's not purposely losing, right? You're right. Tanking it's like we're going to purposely lose. we're going to purposely be bad. No, it really is creating something better for the future by taking players that you don't have future plans for and trying to get something for them to move on and better your situation. I mean, take Jerry Jeudy, for example. I don't think he's in their long-term plans. I really don't. He doesn't seem to want to be in their long-term plans either. So why are the Broncos like prolonging the inevitable? They're going to probably trade him away and get something for him, right? And then they can hopefully build a younger team for the future, right? Get a I don't know, third round pick, whatever it is that they're going to get for him. I don't know what it could be. He's obviously not playing up to what his standards should be, and I think he really doesn't feel like he belongs in Denver anymore. It's just what it seems like to me. But yeah, you're right. Trade away the players, still go out there and try hard, still go out there and try and play. But like you said, strategic planning. I like that. Let's change it up. Strategic planning. Thanks, Jeremy. And I think your prediction might come true. I mean, I really do. You predicted Dennis Allen coming back to Denver as a defensive coordinator after he is relieved of his duties in New Orleans. And man, it keeps looking more and more like that might very well happen. So I'm still keeping an eye on it, and I'm still reminding people that you made that prediction. So I think it might happen. And Jason is coming in this morning saying, good morning, Thomas. Regardless of the rumors, there's no way the team could trade Surtain, a cornerstone to build around. No, question mark. Yeah, exactly. Besides, I'm not picking up the phone unless it's 2 first-round picks. Well, Jason, this is the thing. You should check out my Twitter. I tweeted this out, or you can go yourself. I built a draft probability calculator, and it's on Tableau Public. It's free. You can go there, just search my name on Tableau Public. You can find it. You can enter in, draft picks and see what the probability is of selecting 1 or 2 or 3 players, right? So I put in 3 first-round draft picks from a contender. So high, kind of late round draft picks. And the probability of selecting, even with 3 first-round draft picks, an impact player is 0.43, if I remember correctly. It's not a slam dunk, and getting 2 is even less. It's like 0.03 or I can't remember. I tweeted it out, and I'm sorry, I apologize, but you know what you have. You have a known quantity in Patrick Surtain. He's like. From my perspective, he could eventually end up being a Hall of Famer, not just an impact player. So why would you trade a young player like that? He's obviously in your plans. It's a known quantity. Even 2 first-round picks isn't enough for me. It just isn't. Like, why you're rolling the dice for something? It's like one bird in hand versus 2 in the bush, so to speak, from the olden days, an old saying. Like, why are you chancing not getting anything in return, really? If you have a couple first round draft choices that you could miss on both of them or 3 of them, you really could. So I just don't understand the whole talk about trading Surtain. I get it. I get that he's the one piece that you can really get something for, but why? You don't want to do that, right? You don't want to get something, like a less than a 50% chance of getting another Pat Surtain or less, really, Hall of Famer. So, yeah, I don't like the rumors. I think people are just grasping at straws at that point. But there's no way the Broncos are going to make that trade. Why would they? Surtain's one of the cornerstones of this team going into the future. Thank you for being here, Jason. Appreciate it. All right. Let's see what else. Some other folks coming into the chat, some fresh faces or names that I haven't seen. Larry Archer's coming. Saying anyone not still a fan never was in the first place. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it is rough, though, if you think about it, being a Broncos fan the last 6 years, going to, if you go to work with Jersey Day or whatever, and you're wearing your Broncos jersey, and, it's you ridicule and all that, but, the diehards are still around. And, I've been watching this team for 40 years, and I'm not going to quit. I still believe in them. So thanks for being here, Larry. Appreciate it. And Riptide's proposing a first and a third and Justin Fields for Surtain. Yeah, I still wouldn't do it. I'm not sold on Justin Fields. he still has his issues. I don't know. I think you go out and you try and you're gonna have the Broncos are gonna have a high first round draft choice. They're gonna be able to have their pick of one of the two top quarterbacks if that's the route they're gonna go. So I don't see trading for Justin Fields, especially trading Sertan for Justin Fields. I know that there may be some Denver media members who were upset that and still upset that they didn't draft Justin Fields, instead took Sertan in that draft. But yeah, I don't think I would do it. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think Justin Fields is the player that the Broncos need. And let's grab another one from Riptide here. It's talking about Russ isn't a leader. He's toxically positive. That's an interesting way of putting it. Would never follow someone like him in an environment like the NFL that is violent. I had a few of those in my military career. They always lost the crew. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a real leader on the field that that the team needs. Russ can be a leader in certain situations, but he's not the leader, right? And Justin Simmons the same way. He can be a leader in certain situations, but who's the type of leader they need? A different type of leader. They need someone to step in with a different type of leadership style, and I don't even know if Sean Payton is the right leader for this team right now, right? I mean, obviously it's not all a lack of talent on this team. There's other things that are wrong. So I mean, although I think Russell Wilson is his positivity can be good in certain situations, but right now the Broncos, positive, a positive attitude isn't necessarily what they need, as a leader. So I feel like you're right in that. It is one of those things where the Broncos need to find somebody who can lead on the field in a different manner, because so far the leaders that they have not, it's not really translated into wins, and that's unfortunate for Broncos fans, obviously. But it it needs they need to find somebody, and you think about it. I mean, when they went out and got Bill Romanowski, during their back-to-back Super Bowl championships, he wasn't he wasn't your favorite player out there. For the most part, he got himself in trouble spitting in JJ Stokes' face on national television, but his leadership really helped that defense become good enough to win two Super Bowls. So you need to find the right person. It would be nice to find someone who isn't a jerk at the same time, but yeah, the positive attitude isn't working. So they need to find somebody else. Jason O'Neill, thank you for coming back in here, saying, Thomas, you make valid points. I don't want to relinquish Sertan's services. That's right. I mean, everybody seems to think that the draft is how you solve all your problems, when historically the draft, is not a high percentage of finding players who create an impact. You already know Patrick Surtain's an all-pro, and he's young. He's going to be in the future plans. There's no way you should trade him. Excuse me. Because it's a known quantity. That's all I'm saying. You have a known quantity. You may not find another all-pro at any position, even if you got 2 or 3 first-round draft choices. So yeah, it's you just don't do it. And I think people are throwing it out there because, like I said, you can get something for him. You may not get enough for Jerry Jeudy. You may not get enough for Justin Simmons to really change your course. But you can also get lucky, and that's what the Broncos need. They have to find somebody in the later rounds. They've been missing a lot in the later rounds, so they need to find the right players, I guess I should say. And Surtain, in my mind, is the right player for this team. Young, obviously really good at his job, put in the right defense that fits his skill set with a different defensive coordinator. He can be a perennial all-pro. So that's my opinion. Don't get rid of him. But someone like I said, Jerry Jeudy, he obviously doesn't seem like he wants to be here. That's my feeling. I don't know. I don't know that for a fact, but it doesn't seem like he wants to be there. And it doesn't seem like he's in the future plans. I mean, they went out and got a wide receiver, second round, Marvin Mims, who can step in. So that's the type of player that I think can be moved on from. And there's other vets too. Justin Simmons is one of those players who can help a contender. Yet he's got a few years left in his career. The Broncos could get some for him, and you're not going to keep him around long term, because if you're going to rebuild, you don't want an aging vet, so to speak, that is probably going to be on the downside of his career. All right, we got the legend himself, Gil Whiteley, in. Gil, thank you for being here this morning. Appreciate it. Saying my people say Rex is a no on the short list. Yeah, thank you for that. I don't think that Rex Ryan is coming to Denver. I think there's a lot of chatter about it, but I mean, if he was going to come to Denver, he would have been here already, I think. So unless they're going to pay him a lot of money to jump off of his cushy TV gig and come, I just think they're going to stick it out with Vance Joseph until the end of the season, and then make a change at the end of the season. That's the way it seems like it's going. But we're all sitting here going, when are their moves going to be made? That's what the show we're talking about. Why is this? Why is nothing happening? To make any sort of change. So thanks for being here, Gil. Appreciate it, and also coming in to talk about Marvin Mims. Yeah, why is Marvin Mims, who is obviously your future piece to this team, still not getting enough reps? Like, right now, you want to start playing young guys like JL Skinner. Been inactive. He's on the roster. That's a young guy that can get some reps. Why are these young players who you need to really kind of get reps for next year to see if they're the future or not? Why are they not getting any reps? Why are they not even being out there on game day? I mean, even Riley Moss. You've got Damari Mathis out there who has not played well the entire season in any game that I can think of. Why is he still out there as a starter when you can get Riley Moss more reps on the field? They know what they have in Damari Mathis already. So, get these young guys out there playing. That's the thing. Get them out there playing. See what they have. See if they're in your future. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't know. It's a head scratcher. Thanks for being here, Gil. I really appreciate it. And Michael Ronquillo's coming in. Thank you with support from Facebook Stars. Thank you so much for being here, Michael. As always, saying good morning to Thomas, which is me, obviously, on Legends of My High. Go Bronco. So thank you for being here, Michael. And I'm just going to remind everybody about the meet and greet coming up this Sunday at the Green Bay Packers game. Don't forget, come out there, say hi to us. We're going to be out there at 11 a.m., Lot E, big Mile High Huddle tent and flag. So look for us and come out, say hi to us. So it's going to be fun. And then hopefully we can go watch a Broncos victory. It would be great. Jeremy Sean's coming in just to add some more fuel to the fire, so to speak, saying if we want a top pick, then you should want to keep Vance for the season. Yeah, I mean, he's been pretty inept, and it's unfortunate that they ended up bringing him back. I mean, it was kind of a no-win situation for Vance Joseph coming back. He had to be really, really good in order to win any of the fan base over, and it turns out he's very, very bad. So you're right. It's one of those things. It's keep Vance Joseph. You want to have a really bad losing season, so to speak. And Michael's coming in to talk about JL Skinner, saying he's been a no-show. And and I'll just say this, Michael, he's not been a no-show. It's been the coaches who have not activated him to even get him on the field. He's been a healthy scratch every game, even when they were down to 2 safeties, right? And he still didn't get on the field. So that tells me, number one, either the coaches have no faith in him whatsoever. They're like, okay, we don't want you out there on the field, even on special teams, which is crazy. Or the coaches are making bad game day decisions. And they've made a few that have been head scratchers. I just don't understand some of their game day actives and inactives. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But again, Obviously, this season is over for the most part. I mean, yes, technically they could come back. You're still not out of it mathematically, whatever you want to say. But watching the team and and seeing what they've done for 6 games, it's pretty easy to see that the season's over. Get these young players on the field. Just do it. Get out there and bite the bullet. And you're not get them some experience. And JL Skinner's the first one that I think needs to be activated this game and every game going forward. Even if he's messing up out there, get him that experience now and see if he can be that safety of the future. All right, Miller 707 champ coming in saying, "Good morning, Broncos fam. At this point, I really hope Denver can get Drake May, but if not, what's your opinion on Bo Nix? I think it'll be really good. Mile High Huddle for life. Go Broncos. Thomas, you rock." Well, thank you for that a compliment. I appreciate that. And I don't know my opinion on Bo Nix. I've seen him a little bit. I haven't really. I don't know what my opinion is on him. I think he could be a good player. I think they do have a shot at Drake May at this stage, right? The Bears probably are going to have the picks 1 and 2. They most likely would try and get Caleb Williams, but yeah, I think they have a shot at Drake May. But even if they don't, they're going to need to draft a young quarterback, even if it's in later rounds, right? They need to do that. Stidham's not the answer. I watched him in camp. I watched him in preseason. He's not the future quarterback of this team. He's on a 2-year deal, I believe. So they've got to draft a quarterback. They have to. They've got to make plans for the future. Hopefully they do one. They're able to get one in the early rounds. So thanks for coming in, Miller. Appreciate it very, very much. And Rip Dice coming in with a super chat. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it, as always. And I appreciate you just being here and having conversation about the Broncos with me. Rip Dice says, really feels like to me Russell Wilson is the problem. Not just his play, but his personality. Risner proved that a lot of teammates cannot stand him. Yeah, I can't say one way or the other whether or not he's rubbing people the wrong way. He obviously did last year for sure. He with all the stuff that was going on and him not playing well, rubbed people the wrong way. And maybe his super positive personality, when I know that when I'm, down, I don't want somebody coming in and being all happy, it's like, let me suffer in silence. But yes, I don't know that in the locker room, but the problem really is there's nobody else that is standing up and being the face of this franchise. So it's like Russell Wilson's supposed to be, but he really isn't that guy. He's not that person. Now, if he was out there, lifting up this team, carrying this team with his quarterback play, then, who cares? Like, who cares what his personality? People would still follow him. But the problem is he's playing well, but not so good that it's making the team so much better, right? So if your personality rubs people a little bit the wrong way, and you're not out there backing it up on the field, so to speak, it does make it hard for people to follow him. So I think the Broncos, if Russell Wilson's not in their future, which I don't think he is, they need to bite the bullet sooner rather than later and take the dead cap hit and see, move on. You just really are. And Gil's coming in to confirm what you're saying, really. Gil's in the know, right? Gil Whiteley, he's been around Broncos. He's a legend in the media. He knows his stuff, and he's saying he's been a disaster in the locker room. So I'm taking your word for it. The players just aren't responding well to Russell Wilson, and he's made that big payday, and the Broncos are kind of stuck right now with that, and unfortunately, they're going to be suffering with that, that contract for a little while, and not having the results that they were hoping for. And I'll tell you right now, I was super excited when they traded for him. I thought it was going to be a great deal, and it hasn't really worked out. And we've got Michael Dowser coming in just to say hello. Hello, Michael. Appreciate you being here. He said, been a Broncos fan my whole life, 23 years, and still a diehard and always will be. Yep. Yeah. Thank you for that. I mean, if you watch this team for 20, 30 years or whatever, you've seen how good they are, how good this franchise can be, and the standard that was set a long time ago when Pat Bowlen took over. This was a team that rarely had losing seasons, was competitive. They had good leadership most of the time. I mean, I'm going to discount the Josh McDaniels years. That was pretty tough, but it was only for a year and a half, so that was good. And then they turned it around. So yeah, thank you for being here, Michael. Appreciate it. And Riptide is saying to Gil that I don't know that I can base my opinion on what I see from the outside and base it on psychology. Yeah, I mean, there's something off. You're right, Riptide. There's something off with Russell Wilson and this team. They need other leaders. I think if they had leaders on offense and defense that this team needs, then Russell Wilson would be fine, right? But the team is starving for leadership, and Russell Wilson is not that. If they were out there winning and things would be fine, had different leadership. But once the going gets tough, right, when people really are kind of down and they're not, the losing finally is wearing them out. Like, Garrett Bowles came out and said, tired of losing. You need somebody else. It's that, I don't know, the super positive nature of Russell Wilson may just rub people the wrong way. And Jeremy's bringing back the Tebow time, saying you could make the argument that Tebow was similar to Russ's personality. That didn't seem to divide the team. Yeah, but it was funny. They kind of were winning with him, right? When he became the starter that year in 2011. I mean, that was like the Mile High Magic was back. It wasn't Tebow that, I mean, he came at the end and took all the glory of the defense, was actually, mostly responsible for those wins. But yeah, the winning solves a lot of problems, right? And Tebow was able to have that magic, and I'm sure that maybe his positivity was maybe rubbing some folks the wrong way. But when you're winning, who cares? They ended up winning and making it to the playoffs that year and won a playoff game, and then Peyton Manning come along, and we didn't really get to see what the effect Tebow would have long term on this team. He wasn't a very good quarterback, I'll say that, and probably had the team started losing, maybe it would have had a divisive locker room with his personality. I don't know. We'll never know, but it was sure fun to watch those games. Back then in 2011, that's for sure. Char Baldwin coming in saying good morning. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. And we've got Lars Rivera coming in saying, what up, guys? Did you see the Broncos contest to sleep at Mile High before Cleveland game? And that could be cool, but cold. I did not see that. That's interesting. Sleeping at the stadium before the Cleveland game. Yeah, I would not want to do that personally. I mean, it'd be kind of fun, I guess, if you're there with your friends and whatnot. But yeah, you're right. It might be pretty chilly, but yeah, I haven't seen that. I'll have to look that up. That's thanks for giving that shout out, Lars. Appreciate it. And hopefully some folks do it. But they've got to do something to get fans back in the seats, right? It's just, I just have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of empty seats coming up, or a lot of opposing teams' fans that are going to come in and take over the stadium going forward, because there's a lot of apathy going on, and what we're talking about today is why are they not making any moves? That's just adds to the apathy, because fans are watching this team just continuing to do the same thing over and over again, and it's not leading to any wins. So you at least do something to get the fans excited for next year. You send some folks away and get some draft picks in return, get some positive buzz from the fans a little bit, do something. It's just, they're just sitting on their hands, which is hard. I know they traded Gregory, he was obviously a disgruntled player, and then they cut Frank Clark. Those are some moves, but that, there needs to be more really to really show some, hey, we've got some positivity coming your way, fans. And Joey LaGuardia is coming and had a company Christmas party there once. It was cool. So yeah, maybe let's I'll check it out. That should be fun. Um, yeah, it that's interesting. But talking about Mile High, I'm going to remind you folks one more time. This is the last show really before Sunday coming up that I'm on anyway. Remind you, come out and talk to me, talk football, talk history with me at the meet and greet on Sunday, 11 o'clock, Lot E. Don't miss it. It's going to be fun. All your podcasters are going to be pretty much every podcaster is going to be out there. I think Scott Kennedy's not going to make it. Had some last minute change in plans, but other than that, I think anybody who you watch on these shows is going to be out there. So come check it out, and maybe some staff writers will be out there too. So if you enjoy Mile High Huddle and you enjoy these podcasts, come check it out. Michael Ronquillo coming back in to say, great show today, Thomas, on Legends of Mile High. Go Broncos. Yeah, thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. And appreciate you always supporting the show and being here. So thank you so much. Now, I'm going to grab Gary Fire's last comment before we move on, saying we need hungry young guys. Exactly my point when I was making about not having JL Skinner activated. The Broncos need to go out and find out what they have with these young guys. There's plenty of young guys on this team that, in fact, I would even go as far as to say that Alex Palczewski, I think they're just keeping him on IR until an injury happens and then call him. He should be very well healed by now. We're watching every game, Mike McGlinchey looking terrible out there, especially for the amount of money they pay. Let's see what Alex Palczewski can do. Activate him, get him off IR, get him some reps. Maybe he's the future. Maybe he's not. But get these young guys some playing time, and they're hungry. And see how much that's when you're going to know. Are these young guys? Do they care about this team? Are they still playing hard when they're the team is 2-12 or whatever? See who fits and who doesn't. You got to make those moves now, right? You've got to make those moves now. Riptide coming back in with another super chat, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that so much. Thank you for being here. And thank you for the support. As always, Riptide saying, us old head Broncos fans will not be happy until we get someone as tough and stubborn as Elway at QB. Manning didn't even make me that happy. Oh, well, the wins made me happy, man, with Peyton Manning. I was never a huge Peyton Manning fan, and I know people are going to be upset me saying that. When he was at the Colts, he always kind of failed in the playoffs. Not always, but it seemed like he wasn't the same player. So I was a little bit nervous when he came to the Mile High City, right? Because his playoff history was not very good, and you look it up. I mean, his quarterbacking in the playoffs was way under his standard for the most part. But he ended up being, turning this franchise into a winner. It was great fun to watch, great offense. I was happy with him being there. And I think he was a pretty good leader. I mean, he would go out there and get people in people's face, but he was a winner, right? He demanded excellence from his team. Now you can't replace a quarterback like Elway, man. He, growing up watching him, he was amazing, brought the wins, carried the team on his back for the most part in a lot of those seasons. So the Broncos do need somebody like that, Riptide, some quarterback who can come in and really change the fortunes of this team. And Gil, man, I love you, man. You're coming in with these comments that saying it was Tebow that spurred John Elway to get Manning. Timmy wasn't going to be the face of his Broncos. Exactly right. I mean, I don't think that. Yeah, John Elway didn't seem to want Tim Tebow, and I know it was good fun when he ended up getting them into the playoffs with his Tebow time magic at the end. But he wasn't a good enough quarterback. I'm sorry. I know I'm sure there's plenty of Tebow fans out there that are going to not like me for saying that, but he was not a good quarterback. And really, he had a few good plays at the end. It was the defense that carried that team that year. And once they ran into the Patriots in the playoffs, who could set up a game plan to neutralize anything Tim Tebow did, they got slaughtered. And it was the right choice to go out and get Peyton Manning, obviously, even though there were a lot of diehard Tebow fans out there that really loved his game, but he just didn't. I don't know what it was. He when he came to the pros, it was like he couldn't throw the ball anymore. I don't know. So, um, yeah, thanks for being here, and also reminding everybody it's Red Shirt Friday. And Gail, I told you I don't have a red shirt, so it's like I need to buy a red shirt to wear on the show on Friday. But it's Red Shirt Friday for the veterans out there. So if you can, wear a red shirt, support the troops. So thank you for that reminder, Gil. All right, thank you so much for being here, everybody. I'm gonna end the show. Next week, hopefully, I will bring back the Mile High Legend, do some research on that. I wanted to talk history of the Green Bay Packers and the Broncos, but this has been nagging at me. So this is why we talked about today. Why are the Broncos just sitting on their hands? So I hope that I hope that it spurred some interest in these future moves that the Broncos can make. I really think there's only. I'm going to end the show with this. I really think there's only 6 or 7 players that are starters right now. I would say 6 players that are really the future building blocks of this team, and they need to turn the rest of the roster over. The starting roster over the next 2 years to really get a nice young team that has a mix of good vets and good nucleus of the team. And they need to start making those plans now. And they really do. So that's all I can say. Like really 6 players. That's it. And maybe that's even hot. But it's going to be a 2-year rebuilding process for sure. And they need to go out and start making those moves now. They need to bite the bullet on some of these players that have cap impact as well. Just get that money out of the way now and start it over. Keith Brugman, thank you for being here this morning. Saying good to see you, Thomas. Late, but I'll rewatch. So thank you for that. And I hope I get to see you out at the meet and greet. So it was great seeing you out at camp, and hopefully you can make it out there. So, all right, folks, appreciate you being here. I know we bounced around with some topics, but thank you very much for the support. Thank you for being here. And I will see you next Friday. And we'll be talking a little bit more about Broncos history. So something to look forward to. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. And have a great day, Broncos fans.